I'm a horrible sleeper, I'll admit. I go into bed, every night I want a good night's sleep, but I grab my phone, I'm scrolling through social media, checking emails. How do you set yourself up for success? How do you shut off the phone and what should you do? And how much do bedtime routines matter?
Yeah, what I thought was really interesting in talking with Dr. Wu is that she actually cautioned against having very high expectations around your sleep hygiene. I think we've all heard that you should have a bedtime routine. You want to make sure you're winding down and you're triggering your brain and your body to say, okay, now it's time to sleep. But what I thought she was interesting will probably resonate with a lot of other perfectionists and type A folks out there is that sometimes you can become so rigid about that routine that it ends up backfiring. Because if you don't get a chance to do it perfectly, then it it backfires and you feel anxious that you didn't go through your whole routine. And therefore, you go down a rabbit hole, a thought spiral of, well, now I'm not going to be able to get to sleep. What am I going to do? And so I love that she recommended that we take sort of a looser approach to this or a more relaxed approach that yes, you want to wind down at night. You don't want to be looking at your devices. You want to have that sort of disconnect time where you have a cutoff of this is when I stop doing highly stimulating work things so you can give your brain a break. But she really recommended sort of leaning into your own chronotype, which refers to the fact that we all have our own circadian rhythm. Some of us fall asleep on the earlier side, some of us on the later side. And you really need to know what's sort of your natural time for falling asleep. So she asked the question in the article that I thought was very insightful. She asked, if you were on vacation and you could go to sleep at any time you wanted naturally, when would that be? And I think that's very helpful to help us all optimize our schedule and know what our natural cycles are like. And she also recommended going to sleep when you're actually sleepy, not just when you're tired. And I think there's a difference there because you can be tired, but you're still very alert. Your brain is still on. But she made that distinction between being tired and being sleepy, which I thought could be very helpful for people.
What should you do if you're laying there and you want to go to sleep, but your brain is still on and you're alert? How do you turn that off?
Yeah. Dr. Wu said there actually is no way to turn your brain off fully. And I think all of us wish there was an actual off button. I sure do.
Of course.
um, but she said, to some extent, if you're not able to fall asleep, don't force it, right? The worst thing you can do is sit there and beat yourself up for not being able to fall asleep or to ruminate and worry about all of the things you have to do in the morning and how you're not going to have enough energy. It just becomes this vicious cycle where then you won't sleep even more. So she recommended getting up, getting out of bed. She actually shared a really interesting story that back in, I think it was medieval European times, that people actually had a first sleep and a second sleep. So folks actually didn't sleep all through the night. They would get up in the middle of the night and actually socialize with other people and do things, which I had never heard and I thought was very interesting. So I think her main message was to stop putting such high expectations on yourself because all of those can actually work against you in the end.
So if you get up in the middle of the night for, let's say, a bathroom break, that's not the end. You could still get a better night's sleep. You don't need to worry about that so much.
No, and what she was saying is that that's actually not a sign that you're a bad sleeper. Good sleepers wake up multiple times during the night. What's key is that you're able to fall back to sleep when you get to bed. What you don't want to do is get up, start worrying, start working on something to the point where then you can't fall back asleep. But no, it's not a problem if you're getting up to go to the bathroom or personally, I find myself waking up, I'll be dreaming and then I'll sort of wake up and then I fall back asleep again. And according to Dr. Wu, that's not something we need to be too worried about.